Hello and welcome, Virgo, to my channel. This is a 5-card tarot card overall energy reading for the time period between September 16th and September 30th, 2020. It is a general reading for the larger collective of Virgos and is intended for informational purposes. The information may not resonate with everyone, so that's perfectly okay. Take what fits and let the rest go. To save time, I've already shuffled the cards and requested that the universe provide guidance, and the cards that were selected ejected during the shuffle on their own. The 5 cards that exited during the shuffle for this overall energy period or energy reading for this period are lined up here. The first card here deals with your past influences. And that usually is anything, a major energy or a major theme that was occurring probably within the last 3 or so months. It may have resolved itself, or it could be lingering. The second card here represents the current overall energy during this time period. The third card here represents the current overall energy for future issues that are revolving during this time frame. The fourth card represents the current overall energy for any potential challenges that you may encounter during this time frame. Keep in mind that these do not imply that challenges are negative. They are provided simply for awareness purposes. And the fifth card here is this card represents the overall energy for outcomes during this period of this time frame. So, in our first card, our past influences. We have the Star card, and we have it in reverse, Virgo. Okay, Virgo. For many Virgos, you're receiving this this reverse Star card, and your past influences is signaling to me that perhaps some Virgos lost faith and hope in the universe during this past 3 or so months. Some Virgos were feeling overwhelmed by the challenges that they were experiencing, and obviously we know the national COVID-19 pandemic was taking place, and many Virgos were questioning why you were experiencing this, or you were experiencing sort of the downside of the pandemic, from loss of employment, isolation. We know, Virgo, that life can throw us curveballs, but I think for many Virgos who were just sort of really hit by ongoing sort of challenge after challenge, we're struggling with this, and I'm picking up that many Virgos were, sort of calling out to the universe to give some sort of reprieve, and struggling to see how sort of the divine was going to be on your side. However, in your past influences, this card here indicates that for Virgos that it was there, and that for those who were able to look a little bit deeper, you were able to see it and sort of get through it, and to understand that the divine is always there. This card here, when it comes up in the reverse, particularly in your past, is basically saying that Virgos, look harder, and you will see it. Take a moment to ask yourself what a deeper life lesson is, and how this is a blessing and not necessarily a punishment. Often Virgos, the reverse star is a test of faith, and when confronted with a challenging situation, you can either crumble like the Tower card, or you can stand firm with your conviction that the divine is everywhere. And some Virgos, you were sort of had to learn to sort of trust not only the universe, but to trust yourself during this time. Remember, Virgo, that you're a vessel for the divine, and when you have faith and sort of a confidence in yourself, that you allow the divine to sort of to shine through for you. When the star reversed here shows Virgos that you are disengaged and uninspired with life, or any sort of component of your life. For example, you're disenchanted with work or hobbies or relationships, personal projects, etc. what this indicates is perhaps you're starting out with a great vision and enthusiasm, but you're finding yourself, Virgos, overwhelmed with the day-to-day sort of routines that are boring and dreary. And what this card here in reverse, for those who were impacted by this in the recent past, is as you're wondering, is it time to move on or to make a change? You're starting to ask questions, and this card here is indicating that it's a reconnecting time. That's reconnect with what truly is important to you, Virgo, and what is your soul purpose in lifetime. And it's reminding you to align your daily life with this sort of purpose, and that you will find new sources of inspiration. So the Virgos that were able to get through this and come out a little ahead, better ahead, were able to get something through this. But those that still struggled may be carrying this forward to their present. Virgos, the reverse star here and your past influences urged you to sort of take time out for yourself, to nourish yourself, and whether it was on a personal or spiritual level, whatever that meant for you. It was reminding Virgos that we know you tend to be a little bit of a workaholic, that your energy reserves may be well and truly depleted. So rather than sort of pushing yourself further and further, it was giving you a sign to sort of sit back and relax and not be so hard driven. I think Virgos that perhaps were able to feel this and take that message, were able to go for that massage, reconnect with your daily spiritual practices, meditate, the warm bath, just take time to enjoy, particularly if your work condition changed and you were working from home, and perhaps that wasn't quite what Virgos were used to. They're used to the busy pace and enjoy that sort of busyness, and perhaps with work situations that you found yourself to be unsettled because it wasn't what you were used to. But for those that were able to became unemployed or were working from home and had more time on their hands, and were able to sort of relax during this period, probably really got the benefits of that. And those that felt unsteady because they weren't used to the fast pace that keeps the Virgos going, were probably feeling more unsettled here. And so this was about encouraging you sort of to engage in your spirit and sort of reconnect. And it was sort of the universe way of having you sort of relax for a bit, Virgo, and not see it as a negativity. In your present state, we have the Tower. So this is a major arcana card. And since this is in your present state, Virgo, this is saying, Virgo, right now in your present state, if you're not already experiencing it, that you soon will be, or you're on the cusp of it, that you're going to get to expect the unexpected. This is, typically, when it shows up, is going to say there's a major change and upheaval, sort of a destruction and chaos. Now, it does not mean in a negative way. It just means it's going to change something that you're used to. It's going to shake up everything, to its core, so to speak. And this sometimes could be through a divorce, an unexpected divorce, a death of a loved one. It could be a financial failure that was unexpected. It could be health challenges. It could be natural disaster, job loss, or any event that shakes you to your core. And this affects your spirituality, your emotions, and your physical well-being. And when this occurs here, Virgo, there's no escaping it. This card here is telling you that if it hasn't already happened, or it is in the current process of happening for you right now, that this change is here to tear things up. This Tower card is creating chaos and is intended to sort of destroy everything in its path, to sort of make things new, to bring yourself to a new perspective. And this card, its purpose is to change for your highest good. So all this sort of change and destruction is not intended to be negative and just bring sorrow to you. It is to change something that you're not changing, or that the universe feels that you need to change and you've been holding back on. So Virgos, just when you think that you're safe and comfortable, this Tower moment's going to hit, if it hasn't already, and it's going to throw you for a loop. You're going to get that lightning bolt of clarity that you've been seeking, or insight's going to cut through lies and illusions that you've been telling yourself, and now the truth comes to light. this, it may bring your world down in some way, for those that were truly unexpected, it in a way that you possibly didn't even imagine it, particularly if you were living in sort of a cocoon and wasn't paying attention to things. This tower moment is basically bringing, sort of is putting your, just shaking up your life in any sort of unstable foundations that you have been sort of relying on, the false assumptions, the mistruths, illusions, blatant lies, and so on. It's meant to, shake up everything that you thought to be true, as possibly turned around, for you to re-examine it, and the purpose is for you, Virgo, to start questioning what's real and what's not, for you to, what can you rely on and what can you not trust. This is can be a very confusing and disorienting sort of time, for many, because you weren't for those that weren't expecting it, especially when it hits your core belief systems are challenged. But keep in mind, Virgo, over time you will come to see that your original beliefs were built on sort of false understanding, and this is happening to create a new belief system and represent more of a reality that's in line with you and what your core beliefs are. So it is a good change. Virgo, the best way to go forward with this is to let the self-destruction occur and don't fight it. The intent is to rebuild and refocus. It's to reheal. It's to regrow. And it's, and let's be real, with the card like the Tower, you don't really have a choice but to go along with it, because if you fight it, it's just going to make it worse. So this card typically is sort of, coming to light when the universe knows something that either and you're just not dealing with it. But in order to get things going, the universe is taking sort of control here, since you've either been sitting on something for a long period of time and haven't made changes, and the universe is picking up on that, and since you didn't change, the universe is shaking it up so that it's going to force you to change. But it is for your own good, Virgo. So this is for you, and it's not to you, and you have to remember that. It's to help you. The destruction will allow new growth, and to allow you sort of to emerge your soul, so that you can evolve, Virgo. It's intended for you to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. It'll also bring sort of a new perspective for you, Virgo, on life that you didn't even know existed in many ways. These Tower moments, Virgo, are necessary, for your spiritual growth and enlightenment. It's about identifying what truth and honesty is, that will bring positive change for you. So even if there's some experience of pain and anxiety throughout the process, keep in mind that sometimes we have to learn from our pain, and it makes us stronger, and it's not always a negative thing. But keep in mind, for many Virgos, the Tower doesn't always associate pain and turmoil. So the above example that I was just talking about is really for those that have sort of been living in a denial period and haven't been facing it, and so that's what the shakeup is. For Virgos, who perhaps were a little bit more aware and had knowledge of things, or were sensing things, but just were not doing anything about it. In other words, you're not surprised that something's going to change. Then this Tower moment is going to bring a different sort of, not the pain and destruction that those that were totally unaware or are in denial about, to the extreme, but those that who had the feeling that something needed to change but just were not doing it. This is going to sort of help your inner guidance system, Virgo, and this indicates, again, that spiritual awakening and revelation. It's going to help you sort of see the cracks forming, in your foundation, and allow you to take action before the whole structure comes tumbling down, so that you don't reach the full Tower moment that we just talked about. This is sort of a minor, a preventative Tower moment for those that are aware of something that's been bothering them, or that they haven't been dealing with, or has not been settled with them. So for those that are impacted by this, this Tower moment's going to be a lesser change for you but it's going to force you to change instead of sitting on the fence, so to speak. And again, those that were just sort of not paying attention at all, and or seeing that something's a shock, that's because their eyes weren't open, and that's going to be more of a major destruction for Virgos. But keep in mind, the Tower is a positive thing. It is meant to bring about the change that you're wanting, but you sort of have been delaying on, and so the universe is sort of giving it a kick. It's going to force you to make those changes that are good for you. In our future for this time frame, we have another reverse. We have the Princess of Wands, and other tarot cards, this is also known as the Page of Wands, but in this particular deck it's called the Princess. So future, our overall energy. Virgo, what I'm getting from this is that when the Princess of Wands is in the reversed, it's suggesting that you're feeling sort of the stirrings of something new emerging within you, but you don't know quite how to turn it into action. So you may have this sort of seed of an idea or general sense that something new is coming, but you're not able to express it, but this is saying that you're feeling it, and so keep in mind it's coming. This is interesting. It's coming right after your Tower moment here. So, for those that know you needed to do something but not quite sure what you're doing, here's your future saying that it's there, so acknowledge it. However, this card is saying, don't act on it until you are ready, because that's key. So don't feel or beat yourself up that you have to make a change immediately unless you're ready. What it's asking you to do is recognize it and acknowledge it. When you're ready to make the change, then you can make the change and the plan of action. This is just sort of reminding you, Virgo, to sort of, if you don't know exactly what you're going to do, it's advising you to sort of write out a strategy plan to help you formulate it into sort of fulfilling this change. So but if you move before you're ready, it could be more detrimental. So this card is saying use caution, only move forward when you're ready, Virgo. So if you're not ready, it's just saying play with the idea. You're in the early stages, and it's perfectly fine. Go at your own pace as long as you are moving forward in some way. That's the key. That's why this Tower moment occurred. So don't force it. Just sit on the creative void and allow it to sort of open up to you, and sort of pay attention to it, and what you need to do will come forward to you. For other Virgos, on the other hand, this Princess of Wands, it reverse, typically means that you've tried perhaps some new ventures or new projects, and what you've been trying perhaps didn't turn out as you had hoped, and you might be feeling that sort of disappointment, and feeling perhaps maybe something you're going to try a new hobby or a new project or a new relationship or a new job because you just gave up on whatever else you tried. And perhaps for some, that whatever dream you had or that you were all gung ho about, if it didn't come out the way that you want it to, it's telling you, Virgos, not to look at this as a setback. Just it's about realizing that perhaps it's okay to take the wrong approach, but it doesn't mean it's a setback. Learn from it and have fun with it, and just encourage you to try another approach. If the end point is what you really want, then you have to have fun in exploring how to get there. Because if you could get A to B so easily and you just zip there, then what's the fun of that? And this card is encouraging you to enjoy the process of this change. If you enjoy the process of the change, your change is going to be more fulfilling for you. So, the Princess of Wands here in reverse is inviting you, Virgos, to reconnect with your original version, the part that you're wanting to give up instead of just jumping to another one. And it's encouraging you to perhaps not give it up, but to look for an alternative ways to express it. It's reminding you, Virgos, that again, just because you didn't succeed the first time doesn't mean that the concept is wrong. It merely means that your execution might be out of alignment. And or perhaps you're asking for something that's too specific right now when you need to be more general with it. So this isn't just encouraging you to go back to your original idea. Just choose another way to express the idea, and perhaps be prepared to redefine the path that you need to realign yourself in order to meet that ultimate goal that you have. And something to think about is the laws of attraction. Is you may be manifesting something, but if you're too specific about what you're manifesting, the universe isn't going to deliver it to you. Because if you don't have things in place, like you may want something, but how do you feel when you're going to get it? How is it going to make you feel? How do you envision yourself living it? How do you know it's going to bring you joy and happiness? And you sort of have to put your external self in line with your inner source and get your vibration at the same level of positivity. And when you connect those two, then going from a general sort of I want something, over time you will narrow it down just naturally, and then the universe, you'll feel it. But you have to have a positive approach, and you have to envision what it is that you're asking for as if you currently have it, and experience it. Is it making you happy? Is it bringing that joy that you wanted? Is it doing all the great things that you wanted? Or because the universe will not deliver you anything that you're not ready for, and if it's not going to make you happy. And the old saying, as we know, money doesn't always buy you happiness. So if you're wishing for lots of abundance of money, but you haven't sort of aligned yourself with how is all that money going to make you happy, it's out there, but the universe is not going to deliver it as quickly as you want. So you have to sort of realign yourself and sort of relook at what it is that you're asking for. But it will come if you do that. And the fourth card is our challenges for this time period, and here we have the Six of Swords, and it's in reverse. You have a lot of reverse cards here, Virgo. So Virgo, when you have the reverse Six of Swords here in your challenges, it's again, this is telling me that Virgos, you're going through some sort of personal or spiritual transition or a rite of passage, so that you can sort of leave behind some sort of relationship or belief or a behavioral pattern that's no longer serving you. And that's what the intention is. This is about giving up something that's no longer serving you, and it is sort of in line with this Tower moment, that you need to do it, or perhaps you were blindly going through something. But either way, it's a shakeup that had to occur. And so here in your challenges is that you're still not sort of accepting it, but yet you need to do it. So this is an intensely personal and private journey for you, Virgo. And for those who are going through it, you're sort of working in this sort of isolation to make it happen, in your own spiritual sort of isolation. And Virgos, you need to sort of identify what you must release to embrace a new way of thinking. And so if you're not quite sure what it is that you need to let go, then you need to go and do that homework a little bit, because and refine what it is that you're trying to let go, so that you are opening a new pathway. Remember, we all carry hurts, and we all carry struggles, and we all carry some kind of baggage from our childhood or from a past relationship. One way to sort of do this, if it's sort of a hurt but you can identify it, is just release anything that doesn't work for you. Just put it out to the universe, and I release all people that ever hurt me, or I release myself if I've done damage to myself and I regret it. Release that stuff. It's a great way to sort of cleanse the air and cleanse your palate, so to speak. But that will be helpful if that's what needs to be done. So it's about releasing and embracing. You have to release first in order to embrace the new way of thinking. That's the key here that I'm picking up here for you, Virgos. The Six of Swords here, Virgos, in reverse, indicates that you need to make a change or a transition in your life, but you're reluctant to do so. So you're sort of stalling. If for some Virgos, you may hope that the issue will go away on its own, and so that you don't have to sort of make this decision, or this difficult decision. And for some, you may fool yourself into thinking that you can put up with it. But again, remember, this Tower card is coming for a reason, and that's because that train of thought isn't working. And so this shakeup right now is because you've tried that in the past, and this challenge here for you is to let go of those old feelings and that recognize it and that accept the change. Uh, the discomfort that you might be feeling is typically a positive sign that growth is happening, and to acknowledge that. So feel that energy and let it be encouraging you to keep moving forward and expanding yourself. So it's clear for many Virgos that this tower there's a shakeup that needs to occur, and you're continuing to delay it. Has already been going on, which is why this tower moment's happening, because whatever you've been doing hasn't worked, and it's forcing you to sort of look at it. So this is an opportunity. In your outcomes, we have the Princess of Pentacles. Now keep in mind, this is also in other tarot cards, the Page of Pentacles. It is in the upright. So in your outcomes for this time period, what's good is that this is very interesting and should be a reassuring for you. Your outcomes here, this card is basically telling you, Virgos, that it's a welcome message of new beginnings and inspiration. So the initial stages of whatever you were working on, whether it was that creative project or the venture or letting go or trying to create that change that you needed to change. This card here is showing up that your new beginning is going to be successful. You're going to get through that tower moment. The Pentacles in general rule sort of the material realm and correspond with element of the earth. And so, this princess here of the Pentacles, it symbolizes a burgeoning sort of awareness in the value of money and wealth and positions and career and your physical health. And it's about manifesting more of these material blessings that you desire. So, for Virgos, this is going to be a welcoming of new opportunities as it affects material things that are important to you, the job, the new business, the financial windfall, things that for you to discover how to turn sort of your dreams into reality. This is a very good card. With the Page or Princess of the Pentacles, you're in your outcomes. This is telling you that you are tapping into the ability to manifest your personal goals. You're going to get through this challenge here of identifying. It's going to come. So this is going to be an exciting moment for you, Virgo. It's going to bring about possibilities and potentials, potential that once you put your mind to it, knowing that you can create whatever you want, and with the focused attention and action, it will come. With that said, the Princess of Pentacles does not specify a fulfillment of dreams as much as the initial motivation and the energy to begin a new process. So it's not going to happen on its own, Virgo, but you are a hard worker and you are a determined individual once you have set your mind to it. So this card is trusting that you will see through it because of your determination. And so it's going to require you have to do a little bit of work in order to do it. The door is open, but you have to keep yourself going for it, and it's trusting that you will, Virgos. You're very good about that. So the things that you have to do, Virgo, is to sort of put in place your clear plans of how you're going to achieve whatever that goal or dream is, or whatever you're working towards. And if you stay focused and focus on practical and sort of the tangible elements, and keeping your feet planted on the ground, and not getting carried away, which is Virgos, you're wonderful at in your day-to-day lives, this is going to help you look to the next realistic and achievable step forward. You'll have milestones. Your common sense and pragmatic approach to things, Virgos, will lead you to a solution that's going to work for you, and that's pretty much assured, because that's one thing, Virgo, you're very good at. This card here is in your outcomes is sort of the quest to sort of materialize dreams, and the Princess of Pentacles is an avid student and seeks to learn those skills. And this card, is there to assure that the success will come in the long term and will be in the long term. The Princess of Pentacles often appears, Virgo, when you need to sort of to up level your skills, to sort of learn something new, to enhance something, whether it's to manifest those dreams, whatever skill you need it to for your ultimate goal. It's an invitation for you to take that class or continue education or start an apprenticeship, whatever is going to be required. But you're going to want to do it because it's something that you want to do, and you need to have fun with it and enjoy the process. The Princess of Pentacles here encourages you to try something new and discover, other aspects of yourself. It's about the more skills you bring to your portfolio, the more goals and dreams that you can achieve, Virgo. The Princess of Pentacles, also shows you, Virgo, that if you're considering sort of a new business or a new venture, you're in the initial stages of setting, some sort of company up. You'll be successful and abundant in the long run. So, you might be new to this, and this might seem sort of odd for you, but if you have the determined enthusiasm and commitment, and you're devoted, you will see this project through, and your success will come, whatever it is. So this is an awesome reading for you, Virgos. So, my dear Virgos, thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to support this channel, the YouTube algorithms depend highly on your support, and so do I, and I would appreciate it by clicking on the big three, which is, click the like the video, click the subscribe button to my channel, and click on the notification button. They are all critical for success. And of course, Virgos, feel free to leave a comment if you felt that any part of this reading was applicable to you. And again, keep in mind that if it did not resonate, or a part of it did not resonate with you, it is totally okay. Please let that go, and take what fits. So thank you again, Virgo, and have a wonderful the rest of September, and we'll see you in October. Enjoy.